Hey, welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're diving into something huge. What if we could just design waste out of existence? We're going to explore a really smart framework for flipping our whole throwaway culture on its head. All right, think about this for a second. It's a question we deal with every single day. You finish a soda, you wear out a pair of shoes, your old laptop finally dies. What happens to it? For most things, the answer is just away. Where is away, really? Let's put some numbers on this. Plastic is the big one, right? Get this, a staggering 72% of all the plastic packaging we use is never recovered. It's not recycled, it's not reused, it just ends up in a landfill or worse, floating around in the environment, messing with our ecosystems. And hey, it's not just the plastic packaging. What about our clothes? In the US alone, we toss out 13 million tons of textiles every single year. The environmental hit from that much waste, it's like adding more than 7 million cars to the road. Okay, so you're probably thinking, but wait, what about paper? We're pretty good at recycling that, right? Well, yes and no. Even paper, which is kind of the recycling poster child, only hits a 58% recovery rate globally. That means more than 40% is still just getting trashed. The takeaway here is pretty clear. Our current system is fundamentally broken. So, that's the problem. It's a big one. But what if there's a better way? This is where we get to the cool part, the ambition for what's called a future-fit world. For pretty much all of modern history, our economy has worked on this really simple but really wasteful track. Take resources from the earth, make something, and then waste it. It's a one-way street. The circular model flips that whole idea on its head. You make things, use them, and then, this is the magic part, you repurpose them, feeding those valuable materials right back into the loop. So, what does that actually mean for a company trying to be future fit? Well, it boils down to this one big goal: products repurposed. It really puts two clear jobs on the company's plate. First, you've got to design your product so it can be taken apart easily. And second, you have to give your customers a simple, accessible way to actually return it. It means you're planning for a product's end of life right from the very beginning. And look, this isn't just some feel-good corporate slogan. This idea hooks directly into some of the biggest goals on the planet, the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. When you design out waste, you're helping build more sustainable cities. You're pushing for responsible consumption. And you're protecting life below water by cutting off pollution at the source. Okay, so this all sounds fantastic, right? But the big question is, how do you actually do it? How do you measure it? This is where the framework gets really practical and turns these big ideas into real, measurable action. So for any single part of a product to be considered future fit, it's got to pass 3 crucial tests. Think of it like a checklist. First, can you get it apart from everything else easily? Second, is there a real, convenient way for the customer to return it? Like a drop-off, a mail-in program, something easy? And third, can that material actually be recovered safely without releasing a bunch of nasty stuff into the environment? All right, to really get how this works, let's walk through a little case study. Let's imagine a company, we'll call them Acme Inc., and they sell lemonade. They sell it in 2 different places, Market A and Market B. Okay, so here's where things get really specific. Acme's lemonade comes in a glass bottle with a little aluminum lid. Now, in both places they sell it, Market A and Market B, everyone can recycle the glass bottle, no problem. But check out that lid. In Market A, you can't recycle it at all. And in Market B, only about 60% of people can. So right away you see the key thing. The exact same product can have a totally different impact depending on where you are. So, how does that translate into a score? Let's look just at Market B. The system is smart. It weighs everything by its mass. The glass bottle is heavy, 50 grams, and it's 100% recyclable. Awesome. But that tiny little 5-gram lid, because only 60% of people can recycle it, it pulls the whole product score down. It's not 100% fit, it's 96% fit. It shows you how every single piece, no matter how small, really matters. And then Acme can zoom out and look at their whole business. Their sold goods, that's the lemonade itself, are only scoring 38%. Ouch. That's probably dragged down by other products, like maybe a plastic bottle version. But look at their supplementary goods. Things like the cardboard boxes they ship in. They're doing much better at 72%. Suddenly, the company has this incredibly clear map of exactly where their biggest waste problems are.
So let's pull back for the big picture here. What's the takeaway from all the scoring and weighing?
Because this isn't really about getting a perfect score on a report card. It's about a complete mind shift. A world without waste, true circularity. It doesn't start when you toss something in the recycling bin. It has to start way, way back on the designer's drawing board. It's changing the question from, how do we get rid of this, to, how do we get this back? Now, let's be real. This is not some easy, overnight fix. The people who created this whole framework are the first to say it. Getting to zero waste, that requires a massive systemic change. It's a long-term goal, a huge endeavor, but a necessary one.
So I want to leave you with a question you can take with you. Just look around you right now. Your phone, your coffee cup, that delivery box in the corner. Ask yourself, how future fit are they, really? Because once you start seeing the world through that lens, well, that's the first step toward demanding and designing a much better one.